Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of numismatics and exploring the incredible history and value of the 1967 Lincoln penny, a coin that many people overlook but holds a significant place in American history and the evolution of coinage in the United States. This journey is not just about the metal or the minting, but about the era, the economy, the politics, the people, and the reasons behind the creation and characteristics of this particular penny. As we embark on this extensive exploration, we begin in the early 20th century when the Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 under the direction of President Theodore Roosevelt, who sought to beautify American coinage and add historical relevance to everyday currency. The Lincoln penny was the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person and not just a symbolic figure. With Abraham Lincoln chosen to commemorate his 100th birthday and to reflect the strength, unity, and leadership he brought to the nation during its most divided era, the designer Victor David Brenner was a skilled sculptor and engraver who based his portrait of Lincoln on a photograph taken by Matthew Brady, one of the most famous Civil War photographers. The original design included Brenner's full initials VDB on the reverse of the 1909 coin, but due to public controversy, it was removed shortly after and replaced with a more modest placement on later issues. From the very beginning, the Lincoln penny was more than just currency. It was a political and cultural statement, and over the decades it underwent several changes both in composition and design, particularly during wartime periods when copper was diverted for military use, the most famous example being the 1943 steel penny minted during World War II. Fast forward to the mid-1960s, a time of transformation, turmoil, and technology in the United States. The country was experiencing the civil rights movement, the space race, and the escalation of the Vietnam War. These societal pressures were reflected in every aspect of American life, including its coinage. During this time, the U.S. Mint was under immense pressure to produce enough coins for a growing economy, while also dealing with rising costs in metals and inflation. The Coinage Act of 1965 had just passed, eliminating silver from dimes and quarters and introducing new clad compositions. The penny, however, remained copper, but with subtle changes to its composition and production methods. The year 1967 is crucial because it falls in the heart of this transitional period, and coins from this year carry not just historical but also potential collectible value. Now let us explore the physical characteristics of the 1967 Lincoln penny. It was minted at a time when the U.S. Mint had temporarily removed mint marks to prevent coin hoarding by collectors. As a result, all 1967 pennies were minted without any mint marks, even though production occurred at multiple facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coin weighs 3.11 grams, is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, and features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, facing right on the obverse above his head. The inscription, "In God We Trust," appears to the left, is the word liberty, and to the right is the date, 1967. The reverse features the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which was added in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Replacing the original wheat ears that had graced the coin for 50 years above the memorial are the words United States of America and the phrase E pluribus unum and below. The memorial is the denomination 1 cent. The memorial reverse was designed by Frank Gasparo and offers a small but notable depiction of the seated Lincoln statue between the columns of the memorial, which is a detail that many overlook in casual examination of the coin. The 1967 penny is generally considered a common coin in circulated condition, but like many coins, its value increases significantly depending on its condition and whether any errors or varieties are present. Now let us delve into the production process and minting anomalies of the 1967 Lincoln cent. During the 1960s, coin production was heavily mechanized but still subject to quality control issues and die wear that could result in interesting errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and die clashes, among others. Collectors prize these errors for double dies off-center strikes, broad strikes, and die clashes, among others. Collectors prize these errors for their uniqueness and rarity, and some 1967 pennies with such anomalies have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity and clarity of the error. In particular, the double die obverse is one of the most sought-after varieties in the Lincoln Cent series, and while no major double die, variety is officially recognized for 1967, minor doubling and machine doubling can still be found and are of interest to collectors with a keen eye. Another point of interest is the preservation and grading of Lincoln pennies. From this year, coins that remain in uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch premium prices due to their sharp strike, luster, and minimal handling marks. Collectors and investors alike look for full red specimens which have retained their original coppery sheen as opposed to brown or red-brown examples, which indicate varying degrees of oxidation over time. It is also worth noting the coin market is dynamic, and the value of coins can rise or fall depending on demand, economic conditions, and the popularity of certain coin types or errors in the media and auction results in recent years. Online marketplaces and auction platforms have made it easier than ever to access coin sales data and track the going rates for high-grade 1967 pennies, as well as those with dramatic errors or proof-like qualities. Speaking of proof coins, it is important to clarify that 1967 saw the continuation of special mint sets instead of traditional proof sets due to a moratorium on proof coin production from 1965 to 1967 to deter hoarding. The U.S. Mint issued these special mint sets which offered higher quality strikes than regular business strikes, but not quite the mirror-like finishes of proofs. These SMS coins were struck using polished dies and show sharper details and better finishes than circulation coins, and while they are more abundant than traditional proofs, they are still valued for their uniqueness during this transitional period. The packaging of these sets also reflects the era, with simple government-issued plastic holders and cardboard inserts with minimal design in terms of historical context. The 1967 penny is emblematic of a nation undergoing rapid change and modernization. It serves as a numismatic window into the era's challenges and innovations, and even in its simplicity tells a story of adaptability, resilience, and the enduring legacy of Lincoln's image in American culture. Whether you are a new collector, a seasoned numismatist, or simply someone curious about the coins in your pocket, the 1967 Lincoln penny offers a fascinating case study in both monetary history and collectible value. As we continue this video, we will now look in more depth at population reports, auction results, and diagnostic tips for spotting high-value examples. We will also walk through some hands-on coin comparisons and demonstrate how to use a magnifier or USB microscope to detect subtle varieties and evaluate condition. Stay tuned as we continue uncovering the legacy of the 1967 Lincoln Cent in this comprehensive deep dive into American coinage, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of numismatics and explore the hidden treasures within the coins we carry every day. Today, we're going to journey through time and value as we explore the 1985 Washington Quarter, its history, design, production, and the legacy it has left in American coinage. We'll also look into the broader world of old coin values. So sit back, relax, and get ready for an in-depth ride through numismatic history. Let's start by understanding the Washington Quarter itself, a coin that was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The original design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, who based his portrait of Washington on a bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon. Flanagan's design featured a left-facing profile of Washington on the obverse side, while the reverse featured an eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below. This classic design stayed in circulation for decades, becoming one of the most recognized and collected American coins. Fast forward to 1985 a year. that may seem ordinary on the surface, but holds particular interest to coin collectors and enthusiasts across the country. The 1985 Washington quarter was minted at three primary locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each mint location contributing its own version of the coin with unique mint marks. The Philadelphia mint used no mint mark. Denver used the letter D, and San Francisco used the letter S, typically associated with proof coins. During this period, the composition of the quarter was the copper-nickel-clad variety, which had replaced the 90% silver content in 1965 following the Coinage Act of 1965. Due to rising silver prices and hoarding concerns, the 1985 quarter therefore consisted of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper, making it a coin that, while no longer made of precious metal, still maintained the durability and practicality necessary for widespread circulation. Now let's talk mintage numbers and production quality. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 775 million quarters in 1985, making it a high production year. The Denver Mint followed with over 520 million coins, while the San Francisco Mint produced just over 3 million proof coins for collectors because of the sheer volume of coins released that year. The 1985 Washington quarter isn't considered rare in circulated condition. However, what makes certain examples valuable are mint era's pristine condition and high grades given by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Among the most sought-after 1985 quarters are those in mint state condition, particularly those graded MS-67 or higher, which are considered to be in exceptional shape and are often worth far more than their face value. Even more exciting are the mint errors that occasionally surface in the numismatic market. These can include double dies, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, and other anomalies that occurred during the minting process. For example, a double die obverse, where parts of the design appear. Doubled can drastically increase the coin's value due to its rarity and collector demand. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint deserve a spotlight as well. These coins were struck with special dies on polished blanks, resulting in a mirror-like finish and sharp details. Though they were not intended for circulation, they have become prized collector items, and their condition is typically better preserved than their circulated counterparts. The value of these proof coins depends greatly on their condition, whether they are deep cameo or ultra cameo, and if they have retained their original luster without any signs of toning or handling. But the value of the 1985 Washington quarter also lies in its role within the broader history of American coinage. It was minted during a time of transition in the United States when economic and technological changes were reshaping the way Americans viewed money and savings. The coin itself represents a snapshot of that era. And for collectors, it offers a connection to the past and a physical piece of history that can be held, studied, and appreciated. As we continue to explore the history of old coins, it's important to recognize that value isn't always monetary. Many collectors treasure their coins for the stories they tell and the history they preserve, from the hands they've passed through to the pockets they've ridden in. Every coin has a journey, and the 1985 Washington quarter is no exception. It has served not just as currency, but as a cultural artifact, a teaching tool, and a gateway for many into the world of numismatics. We will now take a detailed look at specific examples of 1985 quarters that have fetched impressive prices at auction. We'll analyze what makes them unique. We'll look at professional grading photos and descriptions, and examine why certain traits and features matter so much to collectors and investors. We'll also compare the 1985 quarter with earlier and later dates to show how changes in design, production, and market interest have influenced the value of these coins over time. And of course, we won't stop with just one coin. We'll take a look at how the Washington quarter evolved in the decades following 1985, especially with the introduction of the 50-state quarters program in 1999, which dramatically changed the face and focus of the quarter and introduced millions of people to the fun and importance of collecting coins. We'll discuss how the legacy of the classic Flanagan design influenced later designs and how it continues to resonate with collectors to this day. For those of you watching who are new to collecting, we'll provide tips on how to identify valuable coins in your pocket, change how to store and preserve your collection, and how to recognize red flags when buying or selling coins online. We'll also go over common misconceptions about coin values and how grading standards work, so you can approach collecting with confidence and clarity. So whether you're here to learn more about the 1985 Washington quarter, or you're just beginning your journey into the world of coin collecting, this video will give you a comprehensive and engaging look into the history, design, significance, and hidden value behind one of America's most enduring coins. Thank you for watching, and welcome back to the channel where every coin has a story, and every story is worth telling. In the world of mint errors, the 1985 Washington quarter has several notable examples that have appeared over the years. Though errors were less common in the mid-'80s due to tighter quality control, some interesting pieces still escaped into the wild. These include off-center strikes, where the coin is misaligned during the strike, leading to part of the design being cut off. Double dies, where portions of the lettering or design appear twice due to a misaligned die hubbing. Process and clipped planchets, where part of the blank metal disc is missing. Before striking, each of these errors has its own grading scale and rarity profile, and collectors often compete aggressively for high-grade examples of these unusual coins. Now let's dive deeper into the collector value of the 1985 quarter across different markets, auction results, and dealer trends over the past 2 decades show a steady increase in the value of top-grade and rare error quarters, particularly in certified holders' demand for coins. Graded MS-67 or higher has been growing, especially among registry set builders who strive to own the finest possible example of every coin in a given series. These high-grade coins are often slabbed by companies like PCGS and NGC, which provide not only authenticity, but also a grade that affects value significantly. For example, a typical 1985 P quarter in circulated condition is worth face value, but in MS-67 condition, it can sell for over $100 or more, depending on eye appeal, luster, and strike sharpness. Proof coins have their own market dynamic, with deep cameo PR69 and PR70 examples, drawing high prices from collectors focused on quality and completion-proof sets that include the 1985 S quarter in pristine condition continue to sell well, particularly if they come with original government packaging and certification. A growing trend in the hobby involves breaking up original proof sets to submit individual coins for grading, which can greatly increase their value if the coin earns a top grade. This has become a profitable niche for experienced collectors and dealers alike. In addition to individual coin grading, many collectors and investors are paying closer attention to population reports. These are official statistics released by grading companies that tell how many coins of each type and grade exist in their database. If only a few 1985 quarters have been graded, MS-68 by PCGS, for example, then owning one becomes significantly more valuable due to its extreme rarity. Scarcity drives price, and collectors are always seeking the best of the best, especially when it comes to modern issues, where high mintages often hide the difficulty of finding a truly perfect coin. Looking beyond just the 1985 quarter, the world of old coin values includes many categories that intersect with this discussion. Silver coins from before 1965, such as 90% silver quarters, are prized not only for their numismatic content. These coins have been steadily increasing in value due to both collector demand and fluctuations in silver prices. While the 1985 quarter has no silver content, its place within the series helps collectors trace the evolution from precious metal coinage to modern clad issues. Understanding this context helps collectors build more meaningful collections and deepens appreciation for the economic and historical forces that shape the coins we use every day.